Are octopi invaders from another planet? Is Elon Musk just plain boring? And is Russia encroaching on US sovereignty?
All this and more on this edition of the Weekly Bazaar.
Okay, so we're going in.
We're going in. We're going balls deep into this week's episode.
We've taken quite a bit of lube in to get into this this episode.
Yeah.
We've come from a busy week and whatnot, but you know what? The pressures are off. Welcome to week 6. We're back, and Garrett's back as well.
I am.
It was a strange one last week. We had a situation where we couldn't do the weekend, so we thought we'd do midweek, and with Garrett being 7 hours behind, it's always difficult to kind of do that because I was going to stay up till 2 a.m. and then meet with Garrett after he finished work, and he couldn't. You couldn't get off work, could you?
Yeah, I'm a workaholic. Sorry.
So rather than me wait up for no reason, he said, "Go ahead, try and get someone in." So we did. We got Neil Humphrey, and we did a great show, great show. So, but you know what? The show isn't this show without your sexy voice, Garrett. So welcome back.
Oh yeah.
And as always, we brought a couple of topics each to talk about. The kind of news we don't. Do you know what? And while I was researching for this show, all I found was news cards about fucking the royal wedding. I don't give a fuck about the royal wedding.
There was a royal. There was a royal wedding.
There's going to be.
I can't get my mouth around royal.
Well, our Prince Harry is marrying an American lady, Meghan Markle or whatever her name is.
Oh, something Markle.
Yeah, Meghan, I think her name.
Sounds like if you're doing the Merkel, doesn't that sound like a sexual position or something?
Do the Markle. Do the Markle. I sound quite sinister when I say that, actually.
Do the Merkel. Oh, Merkel me, baby. Merkel all over. Oh.
And as well, I've got to talk. As during the intro last week, I said something on the lines of, "Who gives a fuck if South Korea are going to start being good or nice or something?" And I realized I was meant to say North Korea because South Korea aren't too bad. It's North Korea that's kind of changing their tune a bit. Yeah.
But I was watching, what was it? It was a Joe Rogan podcast. Well, I wasn't watching it. I was listening to it podcast, obviously. But he was talking about the South Africans.
Yeah, mate, we're going to we're going to be friendly from now on because we know we've been bastards, right? We've been bastards.
South Koreans, and talking about one of the weird things that they do, and I guess like plastic surgery is really huge in that country.
Really? You wouldn't have thought, would you?
And one of the things that they do, which is really awkward because I would have thought this would have been more prevalent in Japan, but I guess in South Korea, women have a tendency to go get plastic surgery done on their eyes to make them look more like anime characters.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh, why would you want to look like that, you know? Those anime characters, they look fucked up. Like they look like they've done a fucking ton of ecstasy.
Oh no!
I stubbed my toe on a dish on the coffee table. Lines behind your head, fire in the background. You know, but over exaggerated. The whole thing behind anime is that you're over animated. You know, it's like over the top. So.
Yeah. But people want to bring that into the real world, I guess.
No.
Next thing you know it, they're going to be fucking tentacles.
Well, they're already bringing in these sex toys. Did we talk about this? I really wanted to talk about it. I don't think we did. There's sex toys where you can... It's like a giant alien tentacle with an egg inside it. And you do your thing, and at the end, you implant the egg inside you.
I have not heard of this. That sounds interesting.
Wrong. It's wrong.
Oh,
There's a whole
wrong.
line
Yeah,
of these
wrong.
things.
Wrong. Not interesting.
Apparently, these eggs either come back out or they just dissolve, which sounds even fucking worse. Like, how's it going, Putty Cat?
Oh, can you hear him?
Let's get on with the show.
Okay. Yeah.
I brought 2 stories. You brought 2 stories.
I did too. Apparently, Kirk's brought a couple of stories as well.
You have to bring him up. We'll have a conversation. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this story about octopuses, octopi, the octopus. And there's a study that's going on at the moment, and then we all know that octopus. It says octopuses here, and this was written by the Express. So I'm going to go with octopuses.
I'm pretty sure it's octopi.
Well, okay, we'll go with octopi on your. Okay, so we all know they're kind of fucked up. They're kind of very strange creatures, and there's always been like they've had like a genetic leap from us, and people haven't been able to explain it. Now, the new theory is that the octopi, are aliens, which evolved on another planet before arriving on Earth hundreds of millions of years ago as cryopreserved eggs via a process known as panspermia.
Panspermia?
Panspermia.
Panspermia?
Panspermia, which sounds naughty.
Yeah, it sounds really naughty.
What do you think about this?
I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah. I mean,
unless there's like some real hard-earned, like, I think the only way we could ever confirm this is if we find the source in our explorations. Like if, some sperm hits the vehicle that SpaceX just launched with the Tesla, and they pick it up on their instruments for that or something.
Well, I've discussed panspermia before. I think it was on Thors-Kin actually. And it's basically the idea that...
So just to make sure that I'm hearing you correctly, it is panspermia? Like the sperm is in that word.
So pan, as in frying pan.
Yeah.
Sperm, as in sperm. And ear, as in IA. Not as in ear on your head. Panspermia. Panspermia. And it's the idea that the ingredients needed to create life on Earth actually came from a meteor, hit the Earth, and the heat and the radiation from the explosion is the catalyst it needed to breed life.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the idea is that the leap that octopi have needed. Can someone write into the show afterwards and let us know if we've got this right or wrong, by the way? The octopus and octopi.
Is it octopussy octopuses or octopies?
Apparently the genetic leap that octopuses needed to get to where they are it says here that they have camera-like eyes, the flexible bodies, they can fit through a hole the size of a 10p coin or a 25 cents coin. Instantaneous camouflage. They've got all these amazing, what seems like upgrades to their body, and the leap that they've had to go from that is not like the same that we've had to take. So they reckon that they have come from somewhere else.
So are squid also part of this?
I don't know. I mean, this just mentions octopus. There's no mention of squid here, but there's got to be something similar there as well because they're similar creatures, aren't they?
Yeah, and then you got the cuttlefish, which are amongst the smartest creatures in the sea.
Yeah. I mean, the panspermia thing. I think the biggest scientists have come out there and said that it's a really feasible theory that panspermia is a thing.
I'm just wondering what type of like evidence, because usually there's got to be some sort of somewhat circumstantial yet still concrete evidence there is that would even justify developing such a hypothesis.
Well, just to quote the Express, which is the UK paper, it says the extraordinary claims were made in a report entitled "Cause of Cambrian Explosion, Terrestrial or Cosmic?" which was co-authored by 33 scientists and published in the Progress in Biophysics and Molecular Biology journal. So, it's a big thing. Like, it's, 33 scientists. I mean, out of the whole world of scientists, that's not a lot, is it? Let's face it.
No, but I mean, that sounds like a reputable journal in which to get published in. So
it says the scientists go on to make an even more extraordinary claim concerning octopuses, which seem to have evolved on Earth quite rapidly, something like 270 million years ago. 250 million years after the Cambrian explosion.
See, I call bullshit on that because the Earth is only 10,000 years old.
You Scientologist.
No, that's a New Earth Christian.
Oh shit! Yeah, sorry.
Scientologists are a little bit more in line. They would probably be more inclined to agree with you there.
Okay, so the genome of the octopus shows a staggering level of complexity with 33,000 protein coding genes, more than is present in Homo sapiens. It sounds like jargon, but I just like the idea that, an alien species has tried to invade us, well, either by accident or whatever, and they've just been confined to the floors of the seabed, They tried, bless them. I love octopuses, though. They're amazing. If you ever watched them, they're like my soul creature. Kind of, they hide very mischievously, and all of a sudden, bam! They get their prey.
Well, I love
that.
It kind of reminds me of a meme that I saw about there's some how you get those memes that are like pulls, like screenshots from not Tinder, Tumblr. Yeah. And then they have the comments that they add to it below, like why is NASA spending so much money on exploring the solar system and space when they have their own unknown universe here on the Earth under the water. And then there's like a fake thing under, like, that's like a response from NASA, and they're like, oh, we've been there. That's the whole reason why we're trying to get the fuck off this planet, because we've seen the deep, dark underseas of the ocean.
We know what's coming.
We know what's coming, and we need to get the fuck out of here.
Okay, so there's a bit. I want to get off this planet too. The amount of shit I've seen just this week, just researching stories, has made me angry.
Oh no.
So there's a little bit more. To quote again, it says, one plausible explanation, in our view, is that the new genes are likely new extraterrestrial imports of Earth. Most plausibly as an already coherent group of functioning genes with, say, cryopreserved and matrix-protected fertilized octopus eggs. Thus, the possibility that cryopreserved squid, squid, and octopus eggs arrived in icy bodies several hundred million years ago should not be discounted, as that would be a parsimonious, is that a word? Parsimonious cosmic explanation for the octopus. So they reckon they just appeared. Eggs, just already preserved eggs, landed on Earth, and all of a sudden the octopuses and squid were just there.
It seems to me like the more plausible thing would be that you'd have some sort of evolutionary process in which a multicellular amoeba-like organism just evolved to the point where it became more macroscopic instead of microscopic.
It seems to me like he had two hicks in the middle of nowhere, right? A family of hicks that just inbred so much. One of them grew like 8 legs, and they were like, "Oh my god, fuck this shit!" And they threw it in the sea, and it fucking survived. It was that fucked up. It had gills so it could breed, breed, and create the octopus. This is how the octopus was created. Inbred in the south of America. There you go. It's an exclusive on our show. Congratulations. Is that more plausible to you?
Oh, shit.
Have I just lost our US listeners?
Yeah, you just fucking lost me. I took that way too personal.
Everybody's got that town. Everybody's got a town. We got. I don't want to. Okay. Yeah. There's a town in Shropshire called Broseley, and I don't know where it's come from, but everybody's like, "Oh man, I'm from Broseley. I got 6 fingers on each hand." Like,
Broseley.
like, Broseley.
Broseley.
It's very close to the Iron Bridge. Anyway, they reckon that it's very inbred there. Everybody's got that town. Everybody's got that place. So,
sounds like it's full of a bunch of bros.
Bros and sistos. So yeah, octopuses are alien invaders. So there you go. That's that story. I stumbled across that one. It seemed like a really cool thing to talk about until I started talking about it. Oh
shit! It's okay.
Mr. Scott, what have you got for me?
What do I want to start off with first? Do I want to? So this week.
Go on.
Stop fucking interrupting me! Damn it!
So bad.
Fuck. So this week I actually pulled directly from U.S. news sources. So these are all finally, not pulled from a British, smear rag. So the first one, I guess I'll just do them in order. The first one comes from CBS News, and U.S. fighter jets intercept Russian bombers near the western coast of Alaska.
Scary.
Yeah. So this happened last Friday, so yesterday. And basically what happened was there were 2 Russian Tu-95 Bear bombers flew in the... God damn it. Fucking virus protection. I lost my train of thought. Okay, so yeah, 2 Tu-95 Bear bombers, Russian bombers, flew into the Air Defense Identification Zone, which is about 200 miles off the coast of Alaska. Not quite in, it's like a buffer zone that we hold between, international waters and international skies versus sovereign U.S. Airspace. So they NORAD, I guess, picked these up on their radar systems, and they scrambled. The U.S. scrambled 2 F-22 fighters to politely tell them to back the fuck off and go back where you came from, and escorted them back out of the Air Defense Identification Zone. And yeah, so the Russians are getting a little nosy, a little postury, if you will. I'm wondering if this has something to do with so earlier this month, Russians intercept some Navy U.S. Spy plane over the Baltic Sea, and then last January, I guess the Russians also got dangerously close, like within feet of a drone over the Black Sea, a U.S. drone. So it's either in response to that or possibly them getting, all fidgety and triggered over the whole bombing joint strike that we did with a couple other countries in Syria about a month ago, was that?
Yeah. Do you know what it sounds like to me? Did you play Command and Conquer as a kid?
Yeah.
And you had the map, and you couldn't see areas unless you'd been in that area.
Okay, so you think they're trying to clear away some of the fog of war?
I think it was just a probe. I think they would possibly just seeing how we would react.
Okay.
Well, it could be just a training exercise gone wrong. Because Russia and Alaska, if I'm right, they're not too far away from each other.
No, but I mean,
you're quite close.
It's a very unpopulated part of Russia, so it's like, why would they even care?
Yeah, it just sounds to me like they're playing games with each other.
Oh,
just
yeah.
tactically feeling each other, if you know what I mean. So
It's like when
what happened?
you're dating a girl and you just moved into French kissing, and then you start, you put your hand on their thigh and you see how high up their thigh you can get your hand before they send the F-22s to escort it back down to the knee.
Perfect. Or to see if you get a swift kick in the bollocks. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Back off, fat boy. Not you so much, me so much. You're married. So what happened when these jets generally rocked up to these bombers? What happened?
I think they just kind of like, I don't know. I think they give them the stink eye. The way I imagined what happened is, did you ever see Top Gun?
Yeah, years ago. I don't actually remember Top Gun. I have seen it, but a
I
long
think it
time
was
ago.
either at the beginning of it, or it was at the beginning of the movie. So Maverick and Goose and his wingman were flying in the Persian Gulf, and they come across either Iranian or Iraqi fighters. And Maverick does this thing where he flies his plane inverted above the cockpit of the encroaching fighter and gives him the bird. I am thinking it's probably in the lines of that. That's pretty much what happens.
It's not going to be like was it Jarhead or was it Three Kings? There was a movie where they were like, "Are we shooting today?" They're patrolling and they see a guy. "Are we shooting today?" And they just shoot the guy. Oh, well, it's scary stuff. I mean, it's not like back to the '60s when they were seriously threatening to nuke each other and stuff. I mean, it is scary. I mean,
It is
but
scary, and it really. I feel like we're almost getting close to getting back into a Cold War with them.
well, they reckon that there is a Cold War going. It's just not as
Publicized as it once was.
yeah. I think it's just flexing muscles more than anything, and I think something's gonna happen soon that's possibly gonna make people turn away. I mean, I like the idea that North Korea have put down arms and they're being good again. We don't like to talk about the shit on the show, but it's kind of nice to see. But everybody's still talking, going, something's fishy here. Maybe North Korea have a plan. I went a bit George Takei there. Maybe they have a plan up
Oh
their sleeve.
my.
But if they're going to dismantle their nuclear program, then.
Yeah, I mean that would be awesome. I mean, it's a road to progress. It's kind of, it's one of those things that I'm not gonna, believe it until I see it, and even then, I'm probably gonna not believe it because we'll never truly see it.
Well, maybe North Korea have gone, yes, we finally have two warheads, and then they see something where it says America's got like 40,000 nuclear warheads, and he's like, what? How many? Okay, guys, it's over.
Oh, I know, I know.
Oh, brilliant story, mate. Brilliant story. Well, now I'm going to talk a bit about Elon Musk. I love this guy. And what this story reminds me of is there was a song on the first Tenacious D album, called City Halls. Don't know if you remember it.
No.
And at the end, Jack Black's going, "We need to work on the tube technology. Stop working on that straight away." So the idea is like tubes on the ground that people can just travel from A to B very
Oh,
quickly.
okay. I thought
Now,
vacuum tubes.
a bit like the Jetsons.
Okay, that type of
And
tubes.
and Elon Musk was, showing off his idea for tube technology, where people can go from A to B very quickly for
Jesus.
free. And I had no idea that he's got a company called The Boring Company. He's funny, isn't he, Elon? He's really funny. The Boring Company.
I was wondering where you're getting at with that. Is Elon Musk just plain boring?
Yeah, and they've
He's
bored.
literally boring.
He is literally boring, and he has bored a hole underneath LA, like a subway tube. And when I was thinking about this, I was thinking, wow, this is amazing. We're gonna. It just looks like a fucking subway. It literally. I've got the video here. And watch it now. And they're backing down this tunnel. It looks like that tunnel they were going down in Die Hard with a Vengeance with the trucks. It's still going. It's still going. It's about 100 meters long. That's about it.
Okay.
I don't know what the idea is behind this, because as soon as you say to someone, hey, you don't have to travel on subway anymore, we've got a faster, quicker, and free alternative, all you're going to get is queues and queues, lines of people just trying to get on this free transport, and it's just going to get full, it's going to get ruined, it's going to get just graffitied. It's a great idea, but
it's essentially just a subway. It's like, oh, don't ride the subway, ride the subway.
I sent you the link. Is there any way you can watch this Instagram video that I'm looking at right now?
Send it to me, baby.
Okay. I think I sent it to you. I'll send it again though.
What are you sending it to me on?
Facebook Messenger. I'll edit this bit out.
You don't have to edit this out.
Oh. So
let them see what we do when we're not thinking we're being
on the bottom of that post I've just sent you, there's a little Instagram video there that Elon Musk put up, and just take a look at it. I think it's even got a rail.
I haven't seen anything yet. It hasn't showed up yet, man. So it's essentially a subway.
He's reinvented the subway.
Like, okay, so maybe it's just, the video is just kind of like the boring process. So you've got a bunch of, infrastructure that goes along with the boring machine. But
yeah, and I think what it is he's creating what I think it's called a loop transportation system. And I think what it is a continuous loop of rails, of carts, of carriages, whatever, that you can just jump on, and it will take you in a loop. So there's no going from station to station, from left, right. You don't have to get up, go to another subway station to get to a different part of New York or LA, wherever this thing is.
Is it supposed to be high speed, or is it using some interesting technology, or is it just the fact that he's rich enough to pay for free transportation?
I think it's just a continuously running loop. There's no delays. It just keeps moving. It just keeps moving. There is no,
Okay, so it's like a carousel almost. Like you just it moves at a slow enough speed that you can just jump on it without worrying about getting hurt, and then you jump off whenever you want.
Yeah, I guess so. And he said it's going to be significantly cheaper than the subway. So there you go. Does LA already have a subway?
Yes, they do. They have a metro.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, if it's just taking an idea and turning it into something else that's possibly a bit more efficient and cheaper.
Okay.
So it's like taking a box TV and turning it into a flat screen HD TV, I guess.
Okay. I thought it was something more like those, those tubes in office buildings where you put the little thing, or some banks even had it where you put the little thing in the capsule and you press it and it uses vacuum to suck it down the tube. That would have been so much cooler.
Well, I used to work for a supermarket, and they used to have tubes where you put your pods of money from your till, your cash register, you put it up the tube, and it gets sucked and it gets sent to the cash office. Now, they had a gas station, petrol station, across the road, and this had the same system. And they had a problem where their pods were getting stuck in the tube, but under the road. It's like it literally goes underneath the road and back into the store. And they spent days trying to purge the system because they were like, there's like thousands of pounds underneath that, in that tube underneath the road. We have a problem.
That's funny.
So no, we're not getting the Jetsons yet. It's just this is phase one of an idea that Elon Musk has. So maybe it'll evolve into something great. But all I'm going to say is, this is just an idea to say, like, okay, people, you can travel on this for free, see how smoothly it works, and then people, maybe if you like to, you can invest. I think that's what he's doing here.
I wish I was rich enough to just be able to pull any bullshit idea out of my ass and just make it something.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Well, he's doing it. He's changing the world bit by bit. So I'm excited about that. Right, onto the last story of the week. No build up or anything.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, because this one's probably gonna fall as a total dud, but it's a short story. But who knows? Maybe it might springboard off an interesting conversation. So I don't know about you, and I don't know if you're aware if there's any laws like this already in place in the UK. But apparently, in the United States, there are 33 states that don't have a law that explicitly forbids police officers having sex with people in their custody.
Wow, 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 wow.
Now, there is now just 32 states that don't have this law explicitly in their law books. Kansas is the most recent state to have just passed a bill that a police officer can't have sex with you if they're pulling you over for a speeding ticket, if they're detaining you for questioning, or any other non-arresty type situations where you're involved with a police officer. Now, so I got this news, this article. So the article is New Law Prohibits Kansas Police from Having Sex with People in Custody. Article off of Fox News. I think they pulled it from a local Kansas source that I didn't think to try to cite. Yeah, so there are 32 states in this country that don't explicitly, like, you can't, like, you can the police officer is theoretically not breaking the law if they let you off of a traffic ticket because you give them a blowjob.
That's crazy. I had no idea that these. What? Sorry, ma'am. Yeah, we have a certain courtesy in this town. That we have to legally ask for fellatio in recompense for your crime.
It's one of those things where I'm almost curious to look up for the state of Arizona if Arizona has a law that explicitly states whether or not police officers can do that. I know most states in the country, and I know federally, there's laws already in the books that keep, prison officials from fucking inmates.
Yeah.
But that's in a different process, a different stage of, law enforcement interaction than just, coming across a police officer in normal,
I'm just trying to look.
outside environment.
I've actually Googled, can police officers have sex with detainees in the UK? I'm going to have police looking at my Google now. Like, what is this guy searching? And it says very briefly that there's something called Code H, which makes it unlawful for police officers to discriminate against, harass, or people of
Fondle.
a specific offence. So you can't have sex with a detainee. They're under your care. So yeah. I guess if they got off, or if they were released or whatever, and a couple of years down the line, you could be like, "Hey, baby, you remember me?
Remember when I pounded you with that expensive speeding ticket? Well, I want to pound you in a new way."
That's interesting though, that it's taken such a long time, because it's okay. It may not be illegal for you to, have consensual sex with a detainee.
I mean, this makes it illegal to have consensual sex with a detainee.
But it's common sense. I mean, if you, for example, you locked up some woman, I don't know, maybe she was doing something she shouldn't have been doing, she's a bit drunk, and you say to her, "Hey, baby, how's it going?" Like, and things happen.
So this is what's going on. You're going to go into the drunk tank. You're going to spend the night in there. You're probably going to get raped by the person that's in there with you. But if you suck my dick, I'll let you go right now.
But that leads on to blackmail. It leads on to.
I mean, it opens a whole bunch of can of worms.
I am going to look for this story I had earlier. Here we go. I found it. Okay. I found a short story we can talk about at the end of this show. I did have the link earlier. I lost it. Forgive me. Okay, so this is a story that I was angered by. It's probably not a good way to end the show, but there's a lady called Naomi Musenga, and she's living in the south of France, and she rang up emergency services for help because she was in excruciating pain. And basically, the emergency services lady basically said to her, well, she was like, I'm in so much pain, I'm going to die. And the response was, yeah, you're probably going to die. We all die sometime.
The fuck?
Yeah.
What the serious fuck?
This is in France. It's triggered all sorts of investigations and things. Okay, so let me read out the conversation. She rings up and she's like, help me, madame, help me. And then the operator snaps, what's going on? If you don't tell me what's going on, I'll hang up. For starters, that's not telephone etiquette for anyone. You don't hang. Oh, fucking hell, man.
Jesus Christ.
Help me, madame. I hurt so bad. So call your doctor, okay? Or call SOS medicine. I can't. You can't? Oh, no. You can call the fire department, but you can't. I'm going to die. Yes. You're going to die, certainly, one day, like everyone. You call SOS medicine, it's... And then she gives the number out. Please, madame, help me. And then she went. And then she died.
She died?
She actually died. The shock on your face right now. That woman on the phone has killed that woman. That's manslaughter in my eyes.
At least it's death by criminal negligence.
That is, for starters,
negligent homicide.
You're there to help people, not to be a snappy, salty bitch. Like, be helpful. Oh my god.
I'm almost wondering though. Maybe France has emergency services different than say, because like if in the U.S. you can call 911, and anybody. Or for any situation, let they be, criminal activity, medical emergency, natural disaster, anything that requires any type of first responder, you can call that number. I'm wondering if France has multiple numbers for different situations, and they just get really peeved when you call the wrong number.
I'm guessing that they're having serious problems getting their shit together with it. Yeah. I mean, in the UK, we've got 999, as everybody knows.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's 999, and you get emergency services. And what they say to you is which service, please? And then you'll say, police, ambulance, fire. And they go, hang on a second. And then they'll put you through to somebody of that department.
Okay. See, the 911 operator can dispatch any of the services. So you call one number, talk to one person, and that one person then delegates who responds to what.
Yeah, but in the UK we have for non-serious crimes or non-serious ailments. You've got 101, which is the police, and that will get you through to your local establishment. And I use that for my job a lot. Okay. And it tells you if you're reporting a crime, press 1. If you're not, you just would keep holding.
Yeah.
So you go through different directions to try and get the job done. And then for health, it's 111, and that's basically if you've got an upset stomach but you're not dying.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what number you're ringing. I don't care if you're ringing IKEA or Domino's. You don't answer the phone with what's going on. If you don't tell me, I'm going to hang up. Who the fuck answers the phone like that? Like,
I know that's. It's just I'm trying to put myself into the shoes of the person that was working at that operator. Like, what happened to her that day that put her in such a fucking? Because it was a female operator. You said.
Yeah, it says she. Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to make sure I wasn't automatically assuming that it was a female. That would be horribly misogynistic of me. Because yes, guys can be cunts too. What did that person deal with before coming into work to get them into such a cunty mood?
I'm just reading a bit more of the story now.
Did she just get dumped? Did her kids, get detention for mouthing off to an instructor? Like, what puts you into that shitty? Like, you have a job where you're supposed to be caring for somebody, caring for people, caring for the people that call you and are looking for help. What?
She went and saw Infinity War, and she's like, I can't go on anymore. Can't do this shit.
Don't fucking say it anymore. I haven't seen that movie yet.
I would never do that. Never on the show. Looking now to. Basically, this is serious. They've got the records of the phone call, and there is a case of somebody has died because they were mistreated by the person that was meant to care for them.
Yeah.
In any country, well, no, I say any country, but in most circumstances, that's a serious case.
Yeah, most civilized countries, that person's going to get some sort of prosecution. They have to.
Yeah, and this isn't Syria. This isn't, some a third world country. This is France, okay? A very stable country. So, yeah, someone's going to get some. Yeah.
Some people might disagree with you on that, but okay.
More wine. Okay. So, yeah, terrible way to end the show. I'm really sorry, but I was quite enraged by this.
That's
I've got to get it out.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
Not all shows can end happy and fruity.
I was watching a John Mulaney stand-up the other day, and he goes, this guy, the way he lived life was, here, brush your teeth, here's orange juice, that's life. That's what today's show's been.
It was like
teeth, drink orange juice.
It kind of reminds me of, I was watching Dave Chappelle's last stand-up special on Netflix. And
yeah.
He ends it, and I kicked her in the pussy. And that was it.
So yeah, thank you very much for joining us this week. It's been a bit more laid back.
Yeah.
We've stumbled across a few stories, but this is what we like to do.
Yep.
With Garrett's story, I asked him before the show, the one about the consensual sex with detainees. I was like, don't tell me about the story. I'm not going to read about it. I want you to tell me about it, and I want you to sell the story to me.
And I failed miserably.
You didn't. You got me thinking of other ways to masturbate. So thank you very much, sir.
I'm glad that I'm keeping a healthy stock in the spank tank for you.
I'm sorry, lady officer. Have I been a naughty boy? Oh, God. No, not the taser, not the taser, not the taser.
Not the balls, not the balls.
Garrett, it's always a pleasure doing our show with you.
It's always a pleasure doing you. Doing the show with you.
Thank you for joining me, and thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to like, share. I was going to say subscribe, but there's nothing to subscribe. Well, you can subscribe on Podbean if you like.
Or because you post us on Thors-Kin podcast YouTube channel, don't you? So
yeah, as well. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, and give us some love.
Oh, and if you guys are really, because I don't think I've ever plugged my show on this, and I think I have the right to plug my show. So you can, if you want just more of me, and occasionally Alex, he's come on our show a couple of times.
Never again.
If me and Justin ever fucking sit down and record again, my God. But you can find me at Garrett and Justin Triggered on. We're on the Castbox, and we are also on the YouTubes.
On the YouTubes. Great show as well. I always listen to you guys. And not for a couple of weeks. I've got to, I've
Well,
got so much going on.
I haven't posted in a while. Life has gotten kind of busy, so Justin and I haven't, been able to sit down and chat. So,
and Justin's hilarious as well.
Yes,
So
yes.
Make sure you listen to that show. It's a great show. Thank you very much, Garrett. We better go.
Alrighty.
Peace out, y'all.
Peace out.